Hi Amrita, welcome to IWM Buzz. This is your host Mujit, and first of all, many congratulations. It's coming on 22nd of January. Jeet ki zid, and we have
Yes.
seen in many occasions in reality as well कि अगर किसी इंसान के अंदर there's a lot of zid, then उनकी जीत जरूर होती है. So I hope कि इसमें भी आपका you definitely go forward and conquer many interesting things. But tell me something before I go forward, into depth into the character and other things. You got to tell me first कि whenever you are playing any character which is there in reality, it's not a
Yeah.
fictional character, it's there in
Correct.
reality. People can probably draw references. The challenge is a different sort altogether because you know that you just cannot avoid comparisons. People will compare. So does
Mm.
that add to the pressure in itself when you play a character like that, or do you just totally want to stay away from any sort of cage behavior? How do you prepare?
So the thing is that this is the first time that I'm ever doing
Yeah,
something that's based on a real life story, and the character exists. She
yeah,
lives in the States,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
carrying on with their lives. So for me, it's not so much a comparison that stresses me out as is will I be able to do justice
yeah,
from that person's point of view, because it's their story. It's something so
yeah.
private, so personal. So my stress was mainly that I portray it correctly, and I hope they like what I'm doing. When I say
Yeah.
they, I mean Deep and Jaya.
Yeah. Gee. It's obviously the story of a real life hero, and I mean, when it comes to a real life hero, no matter how much you admire them, it's never really enough because of whatever they have contributed to the cause of the country. But as you said rightly, that you wanted to do justice to the character of the real Jaya Singer. So in order to do justice to that, did you actually get to any opportunity to probably interact with her face to face? Because I believe the shooting started during the COVID process, so there were limitations in itself a lot. So did you actually get to interact with her physically? Did you get to meet her, or was it just over phone calls or nothing at all? How did you go
Nothing.
forward with the preparation?
Because we live in the States. We started during the pandemic, and
Yeah,
but what it is that my director has spent a
yeah,
lot of time talking to Deep and Jaya. He's done a lot of research on their story, on their lives, on the special forces. So he was
yeah,
my one point of
yeah,
contact, because not only do I have to portray Jaya correctly, but it's the director's vision, right? So it's not
true.
my understanding of what Jaya is. I need to get my
Yeah,
brief from the director, which I was doing and then following through.
yeah. Interesting enough, and it's actually an interesting way because usually whenever we see, I think the last time I can probably draw reference from a real life character where somebody played a wife of a real life, say, police officer was with Batla House, Mrunal Thakur. So
Right.
she at that point of time when talking, she said that she could actually physically get in touch and converse in order to get certain inputs from the character
Yeah.
and the personality. So
Right.
because you get to do that, I mean, was it more of a challenge because you just don't know anything, you're just listening to how a person is, rather you have never met that person in reality? So basically whatever you are preparing is just based on certain perceptions that you have heard. So was it like more challenging in that way?
So the thing is, I asked my director about this. I had the same question as you, and what he said is that it's not. It's based on real life and true events, but it's not that they wanted to portray Jaya exactly as she is with her
Yeah,
mannerisms, and
yeah,
Deep
yeah,
exactly as he is. They actually look
yeah,
extremely different from
yeah,
both of us. It's not like they've tried to get any similarities like that. So their main focus was the story and the intent, and it wasn't that they wanted the characters to be 100% the same, or
yeah,
for us to have the physical mannerisms, or
yeah.
talk in that way. So for them, it was the story that was most important, and they were okay with taking cinematic liberty
Okay.
and
So I
having
think
that
that
part
adds.
fluid. They
Yeah,
wanted
so I
that
think
part.
that adds to the. Yeah, so that adds to the bit of freedom that you probably get in terms of expressing yourself as an artist. So
Definitely. It
that truly
wasn't
does
that.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, so my director told me right up
yeah,
front, because I was getting into,
yeah,
the nitty gritties, and I wanted to know how she
yeah, yeah,
speaks and things like that.
yeah,
And he said,
yeah,
no, I don't want any of that. I want the story to
yeah,
remain true, but I want
yeah,
this to be our interpretation and my vision of Jaya and Deep.
Yeah. It's quite interesting to see both you and Amit back, on screen together because, obviously you guys had created magic on screen with Kai Poche. But, you got to tell me something that from Kai Poche till now, I mean, you both have grown in your respective careers. And and it's not every day that you both get to spend time on sets because the last time was probably Kai Poche and cut to now. So what are the things that you probably saw change in Amit as a personality? Did you see a more matured version of Amit, or what was it like? I mean, how did you guys actually bond on the sets, compared to what it was during Kai Poche? How did it transition from that phase to now?
So the thing is, during Kai Poche, we didn't have too many scenes together, so we barely spent any time together on set. All the time we spent was off set as friends, and then we stayed in touch. But what I have found is that, and what I did find and was really great to see, how you see a caterpillar turn into a butterfly, and you see that process. So I met Amit when he was just starting his film career, and when you're new, there's that freshness, and you're not very sure of yourself. Am I doing this correctly? Am I doing that? There's a little bit of need of validation from your director when you're new. You need that guidance. Whereas now I saw someone who really evolved and was very, very sure of his craft and very confident and clear, and not just involved with his character, but the portrayal of the project as a whole. So what I saw is that Amit really gets into the whole project, and gets into, gets connected with the producer, the director, me, and gets involved in everything. So it was a big change for me to see, because I had seen him just when he started off, and now to see this confident person who's like walks on and is like, okay, tell me what's happening, was a big difference.
But talking about that, was there any emotional moments or any nostalgic moments? Because I'm pretty sure when you guys were working together in Kai Poche, I mean, obviously you want your film to do well, but then you can never really be sure of the response that the audience will give. I'm pretty sure that you didn't have any idea that Kai Poche will be doing so well and it will be loved so much when you guys were actually working. So did you guys talk about any moments from Kai Poche, or how did it work? Were there any interesting discussions on that?
We did have nostalgic moments, because as I said, we were much younger then, and there's a enthusiasm and a naivety and a freshness comes when you're new, so there was a lot of purity then when we were interacting and excitement, and it was a very beautiful experience as a whole. And I realize now that we can never experience that again, because we've done so many other projects and we're not fresh out of school, or I mean not school, but we're not fresh out of acting school or workshops or so all of that, we'll never get that again.
I think that's a very interesting point, and but then everything is for the better, and you guys are moving forward towards a better future. I mean, that's nothing better than that. But tell me something that now that you have an experience of playing both fictional characters as well as a character which is based on a real life, what do you probably enjoy more? I mean, I think it's pretty early to ask you this because you've just played one real life character, but then somewhere down the line, do you feel any difference in terms of the preparation or the entire process? I mean, in terms of how you enjoy it?
So the thing is that because I didn't get into, as I said, the nitty-gritties of characterization, and had to really get into her skin and depict how she is in reality, because of all of that, I feel like I can't really answer that question yet, because I haven't experienced, for instance, what say like Ranbir would have had to do in when he played Sanju, he literally became him. So I feel like I have to do something like that before I can answer this question.
But do you want to do something like that? Because one thing is you would look forward to, another thing is whether you have done or not. Are you looking forward to doing something exactly like that, where you probably play a character right from the head to the toe?
It would be very challenging for me because I've not done that. So I would love to.
But I think any challenges are welcome, and I hope you will be able to do it very nicely. Last question before I let you go, and it will be something on a lighter note. There's there's a scene where I saw there's an interesting letter that or probably a writing that Amit has written in the scene, and you say कि अरे यार ऐसे कौन propose करता है? So in real life, have you ever had any interesting, weird or quirky kind of proposals which probably tricked you, like अरे यार ये क्या हो गया, ऐसे कौन propose करता है? Did you have any kind of moment like that in reality? I really like the way you're thinking right now, because I think there are too many like that and you're trying to figure out which one to talk about.
It's been a lot of time since someone actually proposed this to you. But I can't remember. You put me on the spot.
Yeah, but anything probably hilarious in school or college that you can remember, and which absolutely, got the better of you in terms of how it came.
In school, I used to be a big tomboy and I didn't like boys at all. I used to think boys are bad and don't come and talk to me. So I remember, bichara, there was this one boy who came and told me that he likes me, and I don't even remember what it was. And I slapped him.
Oh my
goodness. I used to be I used to be fairly scary in school.
Yeah.
So this is what I can remember.
Interesting. Well, on that note, I wish you all the best, and looking forward to some really interesting projects from your end in the future as well. Thank you so much for talking to us, and good luck. I hope 22nd is your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.